Hello and happy hot Monday, everybody. Here's what's coming up on Now. Hey, we're talking about the heat. In fact, one school in our state let kids out early because it was so hot. We'll have that story.
Plus, did you leave your kid in the hot car? There's an app for that, believe it or not. We're testing it out.
And we go from the heat to the ice, where a kid from Maine has now won his second Stanley Cup.
This is News Center now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Hill.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. At least one time in your life, and possibly more often than that, you've complained about the weather. Certainly if you're from this state. You either hated the snow, like back in the winter, or last week you hated the rain.
And shockingly today, a lot of people complaining about the heat. Many of you posted to our Facebook pages. This photo comes from Catherine Ross in Peru. Her thermometer is showing almost 100 degrees. So, Keith, did we hit the triple digits today?
Officially, a lot of times these thermometers are in the sun and the official readings are in the shade. That being said, we did have some mid-90s away from the coastline. It is still there at 95 in Sanford. It has cooled down, air quotes on that one, to 86 in Portland. Still sitting at 90 in Lewiston, but nobody got over 95 today. Some nasty thunderstorms popping up across northern Maine. All of those yellow boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got some hail in there, we've got some gusty winds, and certainly a lot of cloud to ground lightning racing towards Millinocket, probably coming in and eventually through Danforth and to the north of Lincoln. These continue to bubble up as the cap in the atmosphere is broken. Some lighter storms coming towards Richmond here and heading towards the mid-coast. Those are severe storms, just kind of pop-up showers, thunderstorms. They'll settle down tonight. Tomorrow we get a cold front to roll through, but that cold front doesn't live up to its name. We still have highs in the upper 80s. Guys, there is a cool down. We'll talk about when that's coming in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, sir. We've got something cool for you to at least look at. It might be refreshing to check out what February 13th looked like in Augusta. Today, the scene much different, but it's because of snowstorms like this one that kids in Augusta are sweltering through their classes for a few more days. Chris Costa out in the sun today because, well, when he's miserable, we're happy.
Well, Chris, the students in Augusta Public Schools should have celebrated their last day today. Instead, they got an early dismissal.
Yeah, Lee and Amanda, that's right. It was supposed to be today, their last day, June 12, but instead, because of those snow days, it's going to be Friday, June 16. Now, the school district did allow the elementary school students out of school today at 11:30 this morning because of the heat. But when that happens, it can be a little bit difficult for parents who have to figure out what to do with their kids, and especially more difficult when the city's public pools are closed. These pools won't open until Tuesday. So as a parent, you have to get creative, find ways to beat the heat with your kids, but so do the teachers who still have to teach these kids on days when it's hot out.
An early release due to heat can be tough not only for kids, but parents.
Glad you're out early, huh?
Israel Gagne picked up his son Bryson from Lincoln Elementary around 11:30 this morning.
If you're at school, you're there to learn, you're hot, you're not all there. I don't think any of us are all there.
Many parents seemed okay with the decision.
If they have such a concern for it, I'm really happy that they do release them early. Instead of us sweating our buns off today, we're just taking a trip to the waterfall.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go find something cool to do.
Other districts found something cool too, to stick in the windows, using any method to keep the kids from overheating.
When we need to, we'll just keep the lights out and keep things moving along, and it's really okay. If we had 5 or 6 days in a row of this, that would be unfortunate.
A helpful choice for parents who work outside the home full-time.
Scheduling and making sure you have that guaranteed babysitter or that guaranteed pickup, it can be very difficult for a lot of folks that work.
There we go.
And for parents with opposite schedules, the early release gives Israel a chance to hang out with his boys.
That's why I decided to bring them in the water today. Now we'll just go and enjoy the rest of our day.
Now, it seems like an obvious reason, but we did reach out to the Augusta superintendent to try to learn more about why the decision was made to release kids early. We didn't hear back. But in South Portland, the superintendent told us they actually opened the windows on many of those schools yesterday to try to air out the schools, cool them down, create a cross breeze, get that air circulating. This pool behind me still getting filled up, but the other two in Augusta full and ready to go, ready for some swimming tomorrow, Lee and Amanda, and maybe I'll come back up and take a pee.
All right, thanks, Chris. Now, there are some schools in Maine that have at least partial air conditioning, if not AC, through the entire building. The Department of Education says starting around 10 years ago, new school buildings under construction had AC installed. They say as summer programs become more popular, air conditioning becomes increasingly necessary.
Teachers and administrators can see the effect of hot temperatures every day, but there isn't a whole lot of research on the subject. A study performed by the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning industry found hot temperatures may have a measurable effect on students' ability to learn. The study found that students in a neutral temperature performed better on numerical and language-based tests. They were faster, and they made fewer mistakes.
On Thursday, U.S. legislators actually introduced a bill that would require vehicles to actually have an alert system to check your rear seat. Right now, though, there are already apps you can download right on your phone. One of those apps, called Precious Cargo, actually connects to the Bluetooth in your car. It asks you the second you start the engine whether you actually have your child with you and to say the name of your child, and then once the engine is turned off, it will remind you that your child is in the car with you. We spoke with one child safety expert who agrees that having more tools is a good thing, but he does caution that it could make parents even more absent-minded.
My concern is that we're going to be relying on them too much, that it's going to be, oh, my app didn't go off, so there's no child in the car is what our mindset's going to become, rather than the habit of just checking your back seat every time you get out of the car. That's my concern, that our human nature, that what we are supposed to be doing in these situations to guarantee the safety, we're going to start getting lazy on. We're going to start slipping back on. Again, great to have as many tools in the box as we can to keep our kids safe, because again, as a parent, that's our job. That's what we should be doing. However, it can't be the only thing we're relying on.
Okay, so meanwhile, I downloaded Precious Cargo on my phone. It cost 99 cents to download, and I could not get it to work. So there's that.
So meanwhile, I have a good idea to help people remember that they have their kids in the car. Remember that your kids are in the car. There you go. It's free. It costs nothing to download, and it's in your brain. So if you have your kids with you, how could you not know that they're in the car?
And that's the thing he said. Just get in the habit. Always, always, always look. No matter whether your kids are in the car or not, just always check your back seat when you're getting out, because it'll get your mind in that mode to always check. And one other thing you can do is like remove the left shoe, throw it in the back seat. So you physically have to go to the back seat to get your shoe to get out.
I'm astounded that people would have to be reminded that their child is in the back seat.
Just pay attention. Yeah.
There's that. Let's start with that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I could go on, but I won't. Skowhegan police identified and then charged the woman that was caught on camera last week. We told you about the story, driving a toddler who was bouncing around on the front seat of a car without a seatbelt. Police say 33-year-old Jennifer Bean of Bingham is the woman seen driving in this video that was posted to Facebook last Wednesday. Skowhegan Police Chief Joel Cummings says that Bean has been charged with endangering the welfare of a child. Police also confirmed that while Bean hasn't been arrested, she has been summoned to appear in court in August. The video of Bean, which also appears to show her talking on her cell phone behind the wheel, sparked so much outrage that law enforcement decided to step in and remind people about internet etiquette. Chief Cummings added that this case has been sent to the Department of Health and Human Services for review. All right, will there be a break in this heat? Keith Carson has your full forecast when we come back.
Also ahead, we observe the one-year anniversary of that terrible terror attack that killed 49 people in an Orlando gay nightclub, and we hear from a first responder who struggles with what he saw that night.
I miss Pulse. I miss everything it stood for. I miss serving the LGBTQ+ community, our Latin community, in a way that only a gay bar can. I am grateful and comforted when I hear your memories and I see your pictures of the best times of your lives. It breaks my heart that your sanctuary was taken from you.
1 year ago today, 49 people were killed at Pulse nightclub in Orlando. It was the most deadly mass shooting on American soil in recent history. The club's owner says she will rebuild the club somewhere else, but that space will forever be a memorial to the men and women who were senselessly murdered.
Now, the Day of Remembrance began at 2:02 this morning, the moment when a gunman opened fire 1 year ago. That memorial was private for victims' families, but all day people gathered outside the former nightclub to pay their respects, lay flowers, or share a few words. This attack scarred the survivors, the family of the deceased, the LGBT community. Most of the time, those scars aren't necessarily physical, they're mental.
For the first responders who rushed into the nightclub that harrowing night, what they saw will stay with them forever. Emerald Morrow reports.
1912 South Orange Avenue with shots fired.
It was the biggest call of his life.
We're being advised there's an active shooter inside Pulse nightclub.
But when duty calls, you answer.
Shots fired, multiple people on the ground.
Officer Omar Delgado was working overnights for the small police department of Eatonville, right outside of Orlando, when his life changed forever.
I'm hauling. I'm going as fast as humanly possible.
And moments after getting to the scene,
And then all you can just hear is the gunfire. Da 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 da.
he was not prepared for what he'd see next.
There were so many bodies laying on the ground.
The scene, unimaginable.
This young lady that came out, she was barefooted. And she was slipping and sliding because of all the blood that was there. And I grabbed my flashlight and I aimed my flashlight at her face just to kind of blind her so she wouldn't see what she was sliding on and what she was tripping on, because she was tripping on the bodies.
Bodies Officer Delgado knew would never get up. But there was one.
He put his head up and he was lying on the floor.
He'd been shot 6 times, but somehow, some way, Angel Kalan found the strength to move.
I saw him and dragged him out, and again, didn't know if he made it or not.
But 4 days later, a flicker of hope after a night of despair.
How you doing, Angel?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. My name is Officer Omar Delgado. I'm one of the ones that helped you get out of harm's way, man. I need a big hug from you, man. I appreciate it.
Today, the two keep in touch. But as Kalan heals his physical wounds, Officer Delgado is trying to heal the mental ones.
And I have not had a night where I have not had a nightmare.
And when he's awake, sights, smells, and sounds keep that nightmare alive.
When that iPhone rings, it's just like, it takes me back there. And there was that one that was ringing a few feet from where I was standing, and where there was so much blood that it literally vibrated and floated away because the person who was calling did not stop calling.
Today, Officer Delgado sees a therapist to deal with his PTSD.
I look forward to the day that I can overcome this and be the same Omar I used to be.
But until then, it means a change of pace. He's on desk duty because getting back out on the road is just too hard for him.
I try to, and I can just smell. Because remember, I was covered in blood, and my whole uniform was bloody.
But Officer Delgado pushes on and hopes other first responders who risked their lives have the support to push on too.
I'm afraid a lot of first responders aren't coming forward. I really wish they come forward and really get the help that they need.
The terror attack in Orlando was a direct attack on the LGBT community. It happened to coincide with Portland Pride Week in Maine.
Yeah, and this week the LGBT community celebrates Pride Week once again, and many are taking time to remember and honor the 49 lives that were abruptly ended that week. You can hear more about that coming up tonight on News Center at 5:30.
Break right now, but first we remember the names and faces of the victims.
a lot of celebrating going on in Penguin Nation, which includes parts of Maine. Biddeford High School alum Brian Dumoulin, now a two-time winner of the Stanley Cup. Last year, Brian was the first player born in Maine to win the Cup, and now number 8 has doubled up. Dumo had an assist last night on the team's second goal in a 2-0 Cup-clinching win over Nashville. Each player gets to spend one day with the Cup, and it came to Biddeford last summer, so watch for the sequel this off season as well. And congratulations also to Andy Saucier, who is from Waterville, and he is the Penguins video coach, so his name goes on the cup for a second time as well. Pretty cool.
Well done. Children's clothing store Gymboree is the latest retailer to file for bankruptcy. The company says they will close up to 450 stores to slash their substantial debt. Gymboree has not yet said which of their roughly 1,200 stores will be closed. There's a Gymboree store in Portland, as well as a Gymboree outlet in Freeport and in Kittery. The bankruptcy isn't exactly a surprise. Gymboree refused to pay certain bills in recent months, leading to a total debt of more than $1 billion. Today's hot temps, a powerful reminder that it is tourism season in Maine. For the last few weeks, we've been talking about tourism and the reasons people come and spend money in Maine.
Well, the beaches, Acadia National Park, the mountains, it's a long list. And USA Today took a look at the top-rated TripAdvisor attractions in each state. The winner in Maine, Coastal Maine Botanical Gardens, located in Boothbay. The Botanical Gardens have more than 1,200 reviews. Almost 90% said that their visit was excellent. Reviewers say it's well worth the time and suggest spending at least 3 hours there. In Massachusetts, top attraction is the Freedom Trail, and the winner in New Hampshire is...
What do you think?
I'm going to let you do it, Vanna.
Okay, it's the Kankamangas Highway.
There you go.
Didn't know you were going with that. I have been to the Kankamangas Highway, not to the Botanical Gardens. In all my years in Maine.
I am with you.
I'm surprised Acadia isn't #1. Like just as a general.
Right, because it's so popular. Like
and
that's
I've been there,
the big
so,
one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff to see, but
That's cool though. Good for them. I'm glad they made that
Kankamangas
list.
is interesting too because it's a highway.
Right.
Like
that is pretty. You're right. That is strange.
Our viewers are all in on thunderstorm
let's
warnings.
do it.
So
Let's do it. We'll do some
everybody
thunderstorms.
wants to know.
First, I'm going to show you the temperatures, which is leading to the thunderstorms, the instability in the atmosphere. Got to 89 in Portland, just short of 90, 95 in Sanford. Some of these storms, though, starting to pop up across northern and central Maine. You can see the cloud-to-ground lightning being detected. Only one of these right now is a severe thunderstorm warned system as it drives towards 95 here. These are going to be hailers for the most part. They're vertically stacked pretty high in the atmosphere, have enough updraft potential to be giving us hail. Millinocket about to get slammed here very shortly in under 15 minutes, then it will cross over 95. Lincoln's got its own thunderstorm here, and again eventually going out towards the border after that. These thunderstorms popping up over down East Maine are not at the moment severe. Wouldn't shock me though if this one to the northeast of Bangor here has a little bit of at least small hail in it. It's places like Machias you're going to have to watch. Lubec you might have to watch in the next couple of hours. See if a couple of those storms pop up for you. Most of us, though, won't deal with the storms tonight, and the rest of us settle down through the evening. Cold front drives through tomorrow. Isolated shower thunderstorm through tomorrow as well. But then the drier air starts to filter in tomorrow afternoon, and it is significantly cooler for Wednesday and Thursday, back into the 70s. It will be hot tomorrow, still upper 80s, even some low 90s, but the air mass will change and it'll be a lot less humid. So watch this on our predictive radar. Few showers possible tomorrow. Most of us are dry. The wind shifts and it gets drier through the afternoon and into the evening. By Wednesday morning, it's beautiful. Wednesday is a really nice day, sunny from start to finish, temperatures in the 70s. Dew points right now are in the upper 60s, which is noticeably humid to almost oppressive. I think 70s where I start to think that it's very, very humid. Notice the dew points, though, by tomorrow afternoon start going down quickly, eventually into the 40s, much more crisp, much more comfortable air mass in place. So if you don't like the heat, then you'll like Wednesday and Thursday a lot. 70, 72 degrees in there. Showers arrive as we head into Friday. Friday's probably the wettest day of the next 7. Isolated showers for Saturday and into Sunday as well. I don't think, though, that the weekend is by any stretch of the imagination a washout. We'll have to watch the timing with an isolated shower on Saturday, some afternoon thunderstorms on Sunday. But guys, one more hot day tomorrow. Temperatures upper 80s, low 90s again, and then after that, back towards more seasonal readings through midweek.
All right, this week looks good. Yes, not for me though.
Day. No, probably not from you either, Cindy. No complaining about the heat here.
No, I kind of like it.
She's
as long
from
as I have an air
Mississippi.
conditioner.
She loves the heat.
As long as I have an air conditioner, I'm okay. Well, you got to check this out. There was a dramatic explosion caught on video. There was actually a firefighter who got caught up in this giant fireball. We are going to tell you what he hopes that people take away from this video. Wow, that's something. Plus, a mystery along the New England coast, and this one has bird lovers and scientists baffled. We're going to show you what's going on. That's all coming up on News Center at 5:30.
All right, thanks, Cindy.
News Center Now continues after the break.
To protect and serve even the smallest among us, today Wells Police posted these photos of Officer Raymond. He took the time today to help a turtle cross the road. Wells Police say there were often turtles crossing, and they ask that drivers keep an eye out.
Got to get to the other side.
Aw, little guy. What a sweetie. It is hard to see them sometimes in the road. You think it's like a leaf or something you can just drive over.
Absolutely.
A little too late.
Yep.
Figure that out.
Well done, Officer Raymond.
Today's Brain Drops is about lightning. There was actually a viewer question. A guy emailed me and he asked why don't people with metal roofs get hit all the time?
I talked to this guy, and that is a great question. Yes.
The answer is actually pretty simple. It's that metal conducts electricity. It does not attract electricity. So it goes through it, but it never, people think that it actually draws it to it. It doesn't. And the second question he asked was, how come boats don't get struck all the time? The answer to that is they do. So this is lightning fatalities by leisure activity. You can see water-related is more than 1/3 of them.
Wow.
If you break that down farther than that, you've got fishing in there, you've got just recreational sailing as a high percentage of that as well. So this is actually the most dangerous place to be, not the golf course, as people would lead you to believe. It's out on a boat, fishing, and obviously beach-related activities because it's flat and open. But remember, metal roof is actually safer in a lot of cases than asphalt because it channels the electricity away from the beams quickly.
Oh, good to know.
The more you know with Keith Carson. I like it.
They're allowed in the rain, though. That's the only thing.
All right, News Center 5:30 right now.